removed. I remember when I met your papa. It wasn't at the marriage bureau, no. I had known him in college. We were friends, but not really friends, One of those once removed friends, like one has cousins once removed. It was probably a good thing that we weren't close friends, because that distance created just the right kind of environment for me to look at him with a bit of a glad eye. Through rose-colored glasses, if you will. And now look at us, 30 years together, and he still likes his dry toast in the morning, while I have never wavered from my chini ka paratha and my tea. I'm telling you, bacha, look for friends on the periphery of your group. They are the keepers. That was Ma, the voice of reason and oft undertaken trips down her marital memory lane for my benefit. I'm 27, footloose and fancy-free. I have to admit, not entirely of my own choosing. I have had a couple of serious relationships. Both ended in the abyss of overfamiliarity and the scantiness of space. At this point in my life, I was kind of content, but in more than just one-off moments, I have to also admit that I felt a bit of nostalgia for love. Old world love. And then of course, I'd vent to Ma, who was more than happy to remind me of the sublimity of marriages made in heaven and also those made on the sidelines of friendship groups. There's a woman in defense from a good family, and she has started her own marriage business. She's quite efficient apparently. And don't go on the fact that she herself is in the blessed throes of her third marriage. Both her previous husbands died happily in their sleep, from what I hear. They were both much older than her. Anyway, call Mrs. Azim and give her my reference. This was Ma's paternal aunt once removed. Full of pithy and not so pithy information, delivered whenever one needed it and also when one didn't. It got me thinking. I had gone down the normal route, getting to know someone and then forging a relationship. That hadn't gone too well for me. As much as I had been against the tradition of arranged marriages, that peak had mellowed with age and experience. Maybe a visit to a marriage bureau wasn't such a bad idea after all. I suddenly felt like I was going on a big adventure. I grinned as I got up to get ready. I'd call the Shadi lady sometime in the next few days. I walked into Mrs. Azim's house a week later. I was surprised the woman had set up in her own home her haven for couples made in heaven, or at least prospects living within a 5-kilometer radius of choice residential areas. I was shown to a drawing room that had prints of all the mainstream honeymoon destinations. The Eiffel Tower stood jauntily next to the pyramids of Giza, which rubbed sepulchral shoulders with the sunlit Baltit fort in the beautiful Hunza Valley of Pakistan. The subliminal advertising of a happily ever after was copious and all-encompassing. For the rest of the story, get my book. Dafiz.